Greetings and salutations, friends of Goochland. It's Sunday, May 17th. It's Norway's Constitution Day, their equivalent of our 4th of July. It's a fun day over there. They get dressed up in their traditional costumes, and the kids go by the palace and wave at the king and the royal family. It's a fun day. It's a great day here. It's the day after the Goochland Day. I wasn't able to go. I'm sad for that, but I understand there was a lot of good times. I wanted to give you an update on some of the things that are happening in the state of Virginia, some of the things that are happening in Goochland County, some of the things that may be happening. Probably my biggest concern, and I have many concerns, but this is one of the biggest ones. Dominion Energy and the data centers all of a sudden recognize that opposing them is no longer an abstract concept, that actually citizens are opposing the uncontrolled spread of data centers and the data centers trail of monstrous electric infrastructure that is paid for almost entirely by we citizens. You see our electric bills going up $3, $5, $7, $20, $50 a month, and you say, at the beginning we'd say, well, maybe I'm using my air conditioning too much. Maybe I'm using this too much. Maybe anyway, none of that's true. What's true is that the way the laws and policies are in Virginia right now is when Dominion or any of the other smaller power companies builds infrastructure for whatever purpose, the citizens pay for it, not Dominion. So all these 765 kV towers that they're building out in the West End, I'm going to pay for that. You're all going to pay for that. And your electricity bill is going to go up. It's probably going to, I don't remember, it's going to go up. It's going to go up. And that's just not fair. But so there's a realization amongst the data centers in Dominion that it's no longer a free ride. And so they're fighting that, and the money is coming out, and the lobbyists are making a fortune because they're taking the legislators out and giving them demonstrations about a wonderful thing data centers are. The planning commissioners, the development authority people, they're being snowed with information and happy thoughts about what good the data centers are. But what does all this mean? Well, what it means essentially is there is no way that Dominion can fulfill the power requirements of all the data centers that want it. Now, I've heard some folks say, and my supervisor being one of those, Charlie Waters, he said, this is all because of the Clean Air Act and forcing Virginia to get rid of fossil fuel, which means we have to import more, which means we don't have enough. Nah, that's a symptom. That's a symptom. The reason why that's important, though, is because nobody took a broader view. They only took the view, well, we need the Clean Air Act to save people from health issues, but they didn't look at, well, then how then do we manage the increasing power requirement? How do we balance all this stuff? Nobody cared about that. So now it's the Clean Air Act fault, and that's, quite frankly, that's crap. It is poor oversight and planning. That's what the real issue is. But so what they're going to do is they're going to build their own power plants, and with by right, we can't really stop them. We can't stop them. And that's the power of the dollar. the folks that own the property are best buds, country club buds, hunting buds with the folks in charge. And so the normal person out there who might oppose data centers isn't going to say anything if they want to build a house, they want to do something, they might get permitted because they're afraid that whatever they want will be denied because they stood up against data centers. And that's a sad thing. One of the big things that's happening up north is Prince William County, where a judge stopped development of a huge data center by QTS right next door to the Manassas battlefield. I don't know if you've been to the Manassas battlefield. It's an awesome place. QTS and Prince William County lost their building permit because of improper procedures at the trial level and at the appellate level, and now they're appealing to the Supreme Court. Prince William County's dropped out of that because they've already spent $12 million of their taxpayers' money, the taxpayers who sued them. But QTS has a bottomless pit, so they're going to take it to the Supreme Court, and of course that means that the plaintiffs, the citizens, will have to pay more, and that's the standard thing. You know, that's how the system works these days. If you got a lot of money, you just keep throwing money at it until the poor, normal person can't afford it anymore. Just a short way over from Prince William County in Loudoun County, they wanted to put a big data center in Cochran Tech. Cochran Tech wanted to do it along Cochran Mill Road near Luckstone Quarry. There's a familiar name. I don't know who owns that land, but they want to put a rather large data center. And the supervisors said, no, not going to do it. Well, all of a sudden money pouring in and lobbyists, and one of the supervisors said, maybe we should reconsider. So they're going to reconsider that. And that happens, I think, next week. I hope that they stick to their guns. Dominion that's another one this one's in Loudoun County. Dominion wanted to build another substation, and they've got substations literally everywhere. And the substation that they want to build here is not too far away from homes, and so the Board of Supervisors says, well, we want you to make a higher wall. And Dominion said, that ain't gonna happen. Ain't gonna happen. We have standards, and we have reasons for the standards: security, maintenance, yada yada yada. And the Board of Supervisors said, maybe you need to reconsider your standards so that we can have some community participation in what you do to our community. And they said, we'll take that under consideration. Hampton Roads, they love data centers. They're starting to get ready. They don't know yet. They'll find out. They're trying to prepare. In Fredericksburg, which has been turning away from data centers, all of a sudden, a whole bunch of folks turned out at a Board of Supervisors meeting, for a Planning Commission meeting, supporting data centers. And I think this goes back to all of a sudden data centers and Dominion are recognizing that they're not the superheroes they were once viewed as. And so they pump money in and probably promises and threats to go out and support this. I don't know, it's just supposition on my part, but Wythe County's getting a bunch of data centers. Everybody thinks, well, that'll be great because they're way, way far, far away, but you know, people still live there, and there has to be some sort of balance about people living and building data centers right next to each other. Another interesting one, Hanover County has been pummeled by data centers. They want to build a new one. It is, let me see, Iron Horse Data Center. And the Iron Horse Data Center is just to the east of Ashland, and it's right on the Hanover County border. So it's just off 54 East Patrick Henry. The one that they're proposing for Mountain Road is 900 megawatts. The one in tract one, is a huge one. That's the already approved one. That's 2,400 megawatts. 2,400 megawatts. This is me trying to figure out what all the invaders are doing. We've got a ton of them. And we here in Goochland County are letting them come in, and we're not telling the citizens anything about it because we think that apparently our supervisors are firmly in belief that the interests of the data centers far outweigh the interests of any citizens. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. One thing I want to mention is that on May 28th at 6 p.m., I think it's 6 p.m., let me look. May 28th, that's Thursday night, at 6 p.m., the county, Goochland County, will be having a meeting on what's going on with the Valley Link project, where they're going to bring 765 kilovolt lines through Goochland County, possibly. I mean, there's a lot of different options. Please come out. You know, there was a comment made to me by the Board of Supervisors that I'm the only person from the East End that's complaining about or commenting about the Valley Link project. I don't think that's accurate. I think there's a lot of folks on the east end of Goochland that are unhappy with Valley Link and are distressed by the attack on the citizens of West Goochland. So if folks from the east will join us on May 28th, I think that would send the right message to the Board of Supervisors. And this is one step to uniting or doing away with any divisiveness or division between East and West. I mean, we have a lot of common interests. We have a lot of differences in many things, but that's not the real issue. This is not a liberal versus conservative, Republican versus Democrat, although now the data center people are trying to make it that way. It's not so. These are human issues. These are community issues that don't have a party, or a philosophy other than humans first, community right there with it. So that's all I've got. Well, thanks for watching. Stay tuned.